welcome to Dreamers Reviews. I'm your girl Dreamer. Thank you for joining me today. This particular review I'm going to do, it's on a Tubi movie named Don't Look Back. I did do it before, but I had some technical difficulties and it didn't come out all the way right. So I'm redoing it via live, and hopefully this time when I post it, everything will come out right. So here we go. All right, it stars Ulysses Barn, Tanja Brown, and Donald Brumfield Jr. This movie, Tubi movie, has some serious eye candy when it comes to the men in there. Yes, it does. The women were beautiful too, but the men were chef's kiss. So it was a good movie. So I'm going to give you a full review and breakdown. So there will be plenty of spoiler alerts just to give you a heads up. Here we go. All right. So the first scene starts off with the wife. She catches her husband at a hotel with another woman cheating. So when she walks, she knocks on the door. He answers the door and his dog on boxers. And the side chick is sitting on a sofa just as comfortable as can be, sees his wife, and she's sipping on champagne like it ain't about nothing. I thought that was a little weird. Usually you would think that she would jump up or be like, what's going on, whatever, but clearly she must have known something and was just fine with it. So he uses the excuse of, oh, you work too much, you work all the time and you don't have time for me. That old BS type nonsense, it didn't fly. She let him know, I'm tired, I'm exhausted, I want a divorce. So clearly this is something that he's done many a times and she's done, she's tired, which I get and I understand. The next thing you see is the divorce proceedings. So she's in there trying to get her divorce. I don't know why she invited the whole world for the divorce proceedings. All her friends was in a peanut gallery making comments throughout the divorce proceedings, which was really weird. And the judge threatened to throw him out, but I don't even understand how that even happened. It was just really weird because they like taking her on like, yeah, girl, divorce him. Yeah, that's right. Making all these little comments that was so unnecessary. They're already getting divorced. So just support your girl quietly. That's just the only thing that was going through my mind. But watching later on, you find out a lot more about her friends. So that was interesting. Then later on, even after the divorce, the husband says she'll always be my wife. And so he's not really letting it sink in that, guess what, dude, you just signed the divorce papers. So even though they're divorced, the husband has a key and he comes in. She's like, hold on, dude, wait a minute, I changed locks, how'd you get in here? And he said, hey, I'm always gonna be able to get to my wife. You still my wife no matter if we got divorced or not. They get to arguing and she drops a bomb on him. She basically lets him know that she don't want him, she don't want nothing to do with him, and that's the reason why their baby. And this man showed every bit of strength in the world, because I don't know how many dudes, especially not no husbands, that would be able to take that without reaching out and touching someone. So that was crazy, but she got unscathed. But then she decides that she's going to go ahead and sell their house. So she goes ahead, sells the house, and she gets her a new home. Now, as she's pulling up to the new home, let me tell you, it's a gardener. He's looking all nice and buff. Hello, Madeline, how are you? Nice and buff, sitting on a lawnmower, just go cutting grass away. Fine. Chef's kiss, eye candy fine. So as she's sitting there, he's sitting there, she's eyeballing him down, checking him out, smiling from ear to ear, and he's picking up the vibes. And hi, Rachel, how are you? He's picking up the vibes and he's smiling and smirking back and everything. You could feel like the little chemistry between them two. And that's cool. But keep in mind, honey, you got to keep in mind that this man is working for you. Yeah, yup, the baby, yup. She didn't want the baby, so she went ahead and ended the pregnancy early and let her husband know that. And she didn't even tell him she was pregnant, so he never even knew that she was pregnant. And she went and did that on her own. She's like, you know, giving him that energy. But sweetie, you still got to keep in mind, this man worked for you, but you about to go down the wrong direction with him. But that's fine. So it's on her and she's really receptive of it. And next thing you know, she invites him to a little party that her friends were throwing for her. And I'm sure y'all know what happened next. Yeah, she get them cheeks up to the gardener. Yes. Now, while she's giving up the cheeks to this doggone random gardener, he's starting to act a little weird all of a sudden. He's starting to becoming possessive during the act, not after. We're talking about during the act. He's like, you know how people say stuff, but his stuff he was saying was a little bit too far gone. He was like, before we do this, just letting you know you're going to belong to me. And she like, yeah, exactly. So quick. She's like, yes, I belong to you. And he's like, is this mine? He's like, it's yours. So it was really weird. So then the next morning she wakes up and she realized, what did I do? This man works for me, but I went ahead and gave him cheeks up. And she's like, oh man. So he's laying in bed, stretching out, feeling good after glowing everything. And she's talking about, I'm gonna go ahead and cook something for us. But ha ha ha, we can't do this again. The man was like, wait, what? She said, we can't do this again. So he says, I know you ain't just doing me dirty like this. So then the real crazy comes out. That's right. This man hops up, almost jumps at her like he about to do something to her, like he about to do her in. She freaks out and he says, exactly, a complete red flag. He said, I don't want nothing to do with you, your whack food or your whack cheeks. Exactly. So she's feeling some type of way. Tells him to get out. He's like, I'm about to get out anyway. I don't want nothing to do with you. So he goes ahead and go. But before he leaves, you see a flashback. Now, before the flashback happens, you see a scene where the woman who cheated, the husband who cheated in the beginning, this woman, the side chick, she comes up missing. Somebody kidnaps her. They find her body. And in the background, you see on the TV, they talking about this woman that they found dead. Somebody carried her to death. So that's one of the count. So back to the guy. During his flashback, he goes through this flashback. When he was a little kid, his dad was married to this woman, which was his stepmom. The woman's side dude comes over to the house and is like, I'm here to pick up my girl, this, that, and the third. So the woman goes in the house and she's like, I'm about to leave anyway. So the husband runs into the house behind her. You ain't about to leave me. What about Junior? She like, that ain't my child. So they argue back and forth. The boy, who's the gardener, as a child, he runs upstairs and he doesn't want to hear the fighting. Clearly, they fight all the time. So as he's hearing the fighting downstairs, he's trying to cover his ears. All of a sudden, you hear somebody pulls out a candy cane and pop. And you hear a body hit the floor. So kill count 2. So he comes upstairs and she says, come say goodbye to your daddy. So I'm thinking the dad must still be alive or something. He goes downstairs. His dad is already. She did one headshot. He was out of here. So the boy already had mental issues. So she made him bury his dad in their backyard. So as he's burying his dad, she's saying all kind of crazy, insane stuff to him, telling him your dad couldn't deal with it. He couldn't get over it. So as the boy's burying, he's going through his issues and his mental was starting to really break down. He takes the shovel and the stepmom. That's right. And then he says, you belong to my dad. Now you're going to go with my dad. And he puts her right into the ground, right along beside his dad. Now, this is the flashback that this man is having. So, yes, this man has been traumatized and he is not all the way there mentally. So, when she sat there and said, yes, I'm yours, he really thought, hi, K. Steve, how are you? He really thought exactly that this girl was signing up for something that she didn't realize she was signing up for. She just thought she was signing up for one night of cheeks. But that's not what it was. This man was like, oh, no, sweetie, you signing up for a lifetime. So, after that scene, they get separated and she's like, this guy is crazy. Then you see a scene of her hood best friend enters the scene. So she comes over there and her friend isn't there yet. So she goes ahead and lets herself into her friend's new hospital. And that's the house. That's the hood best friend. So the hood best friend is checking out the gardener. Now we know he crazy, but she don't know that. So she checking out the gardener, eyeballing him. She invites him into her friend's home. Yes, insane. So the friend comes home. She sees her best friend there and the gardener sipping on some of her wine. And she tells her best friend, this dude is crazy. Exactly. She said, this dude is crazy. He crazy. You need to leave him alone. So the hood best friend, she's not trying to hear. She like, girl, he fine. No, I want me a piece of that. I'm not trying to hear what you got to say. So she said, I warned you, but I'm telling you, this guy is insane. So she goes ahead and she starts messing with the guy. So they're trying to tell her. So the hood best friend starts messing with the gardener. And so there's another scene where, exactly. It don't matter how fine he is. This man is crazy, especially if your best friend is telling you. You should probably listen to somebody who knows, who's telling you, look, he worked for me and that dude is crazy. But she was like, oh, he fine. I want me a piece of that Snickers bar. And that's what she was going for. But she signed up for more than she can bargain for. I can tell you that. So the hood best friend starts messing with the guy and she's trying to get serious. So she got another friend, the dentist. That's what we're going to call her, the dentist. So the dentist enters the scene. She walks in on a hood best friend and the gardener at her luncheon area eating. So she goes up to him and she's telling her, you know, look, I don't like the fact that you're sitting here picking this man over our friend circle. So the friend walks off and goes to the bathroom. And so the dentist starts talking to the gardener. And so the gardener basically was threatening her. So she's starting to realize my friend was right. This dude is crazy. So she drops back and she goes into the bathroom. She said, girl, that man is crazy. She wasn't lying to you. You need to leave him alone. Right, exactly. Girl, run. That's what I would be telling her. Girl, run. Just leave him alone. But nope, she stays. So the hood best friend still go ahead and continue being with this man. The other friend told her, leave him alone, but she didn't. Next thing you see, the dentist friend is leaving work in the middle of the night. And all of a sudden, while she's leaving work, she get kneecapped by some random person in a ski mask, and they end up putting her in the hospital. That's right. They go ahead and kneecap that girl, put her up in the hospital. Now all her friends is around her doggone hospital bed, boo-hooing. She survives that kneecapping, but she's laid up in the hospital for a little bit. So some stuff happens afterwards. The hood best friend starts getting more and more serious about this man, and she starts falling in love with the man. The man gives her a key to his house because the whole time the man is really just doing this to try to make the main girl jealous, but it's not doing it. It's not working because she knows this man is crazy and she wants no parts of him. She wants him to leave her alone, leave her friends alone, and just go far away as possible. She even tried to fire the man. The man wouldn't let her fire him. The gardener was completely all the way thrown off. So she has another friend, the married friend. We call him married friend. So the married friend has a husband. Her husband is a part of the friend group. The husband decides to go over to the gardener's house and say, yo, dude, you messing with our friendship. I'm going to need you to beat it. So he comes over there with the candy cane and he points it at the guy. And the guy's so crazy. The guy's so crazy, he don't even care that the guy's pointing the candy cane at him. He like, and what you gonna do? You gonna do something? Do it. They get into a little bit of a scuffle. And the guy and the married friend's husband ends up leaving and going back home. So when he goes back home, he's like telling his wife that he just got into a scuffle. Now, it cuts to a scene earlier that day. The hood best friend goes to the gardener's house. She's trying to use the key, but the guy is there. The guy opens the door before she goes in and says, hey, what are you doing? She said, well, I came over here to surprise you. He said, you supposed to call before you come over here. And he said, call for what? She said, call for what? You gave me the key. I'm coming over here to surprise my man. He said, nah, call. So she's trying to bogart her way in, thinking it's a woman in there, and he's pushing her out the door. So then he said, you know what? You want to come in? Come on in. So she comes in, and she sees an altar. This man got photos and a full altar with candles burning of her best friend. He is really completely out there, crazy over the best friend. And she's like, oh my goodness, I can't believe this guy. She said, my friends was right. You are, wow, something wrong with you in the head. And so he said, well, you want to come in? So now you in. So he pulls out a candy cane and and that's body number 4. Completely insane. So he goes ahead and he throws her body into the trunk of her car and he drops the car off somewhere. So now that's 4 people. So As the scene going on, it cuts to another scene of the dentist that's laying up in the hospital. Somebody comes in and she's saying, oh, baby, oh, you here to see me? I'm going to be okay, but you can't be here because my friends might come. It doesn't show who she's talking to. You just see some black boots. So the person comes up to her, takes the pillow, and her. That's the dentist friend. She's in the hospital now. So now the kill count is up to 5 at this point. They waste no time and just knocking people off left to right. So next thing, you cut to another scene where the friends, the married friend, she's upstairs inside the house and her husband is in the shower, in the bathtub resting, because remember earlier that day, he went back to that man's house and they was duking it out. So I guess he feel like he needs to take a little bit of a bubble bath and relax or whatever. So somebody breaks into their house, goes upstairs, and the husband, while he's in the bathtub, that's right, they go ahead and take him out. On the way out, the guy is leaving out whoever it is that's these people. He goes ahead, sees the married woman, and her too on the way out. And she's shocked because it seemed like she know the guy. She's like, what are you doing here? And he goes ahead and takes her out too. Yes, exactly. 6 now. Just right, they just all going. So next thing, after that, you get to the scene where the police are finding all these bodies. So now on the bodies, they found a business card, and it's the main girl's business card. So they go to her house, they see that she's there, and they let her know that your best friend, a couple of your friends, people you know, are all. So now she's worried because she's like, oh my goodness, it's the gardener. I told everybody this man is not right in the head, and everybody didn't believe me. Something's wrong with this man. The gardener did it. So they not believing everything, whatever, but they was like, oh, we'll take the information. We need his information. And the police start doing APBs after the doggone gardener, trying to find the gardener. In the meantime, they tell her, put yourself up, hide yourself, whatever, because this man knows how to get to you and get to your house, because not only was he the gardener, but he was her handyman too, so he knows the ins and out of her house. Plus, she gave him cheeks up to that man, so he was upstairs and downstairs. So next thing you know, he calls her ex-husband. The ex-husband's like, you're always gonna be my wife. Yes, absolutely, sweetie. I'm on my way to protect you. I'm coming over. I'm putting my big boy pants on, and I'm on my way. He gets there, and she's like, oh my goodness, the gardener, this, that, and the third. I thought he was so nice, and he's just taking everybody out left and right, everybody I know. So she's like, the ex-husband is like, well, let's go. Let's go. Let's get out of here. This man know where you live at. Let's go somewhere else. And she's like, no, I don't want to go anywhere. I want to stay here. I feel comfortable in my home, this and the third, which to me is insane in the membrane. Because let me tell you something. This man know your ins and outs of your home. Why not leave? Why stay in the house? That made no sense whatsoever to me. That was like really over the top, ridiculous. But she stays in the house. As she's in the house with her ex-husband, and they're sitting there, and she's like cuddling up with him. Oh my goodness, I'm so scared. Who comes in her house with the candy cane pointed at her and her husband? That's right, the gardener. He comes in. The husband stands up, and he's trying to protect his ex-wife. She's like, oh my goodness, how'd you get in here? And he's like, you belong to me. I told you belong to me. And the husband's like, no, no, no. So the guy was like, you ain't gonna choose me over him? So the guy points the candy cane at the girl, and he's ready to go ahead and do her in. And so the husband steps in the way, was like, no, you're not gonna do that. Don't her. I love her. So the gardener points it at the candy cane at him and say, you know what? I'm tired of you. He says, you always had the prettiest girls, and you had mama. That's right. They're brothers. The gardener and the ex-husband are brothers. Then the storyline kind of develops, and you realize that it all comes together. So the gardener is basically venting, and he's talking about how you always had everything. I had nothing, and now I'm tired of you too. I'm tired of this situation. I only did this because you asked me to. I did this because you asked me to. And but the guy was like, we brothers and all, but you're not getting this. This mine. She mine. So they're going back and forth, and then you hear a pop. It doesn't let you know who got who because they both had candy canes. That's right. And they was both pointing at the brothers. Both the brothers was going at it, arguing and everything. So the next scene, you see them. He puts them, exactly. That is insane. And so the next scene, you see the brother is in the trunk. Oh, I'm sorry. Then before the pop happens, the gardener says, I didn't, because she was like, all my friends, you took them out. He said, that wasn't me. That was him. That's right. And he was sleeping with all your friends. Come to find out, the ex-husband was screwing all her friends, the dentist and a couple of the other friends. That's why when they was at her divorce proceedings, the girl divorced him, they was all screwing her husband. Everybody except for the hood best friend. The hood best friend was messing with the gardener. Whole friend group trash, if you ask me. Whole friend group. All of them. But I digress. So after you hear the pop, it cuts to a scene where he pops the trunk. When he pops the trunk, you see the brother laying back there, and you see the girl, but the girl is alive, and she's like begging, and she's like, oh, baby, it's me and you. I still love you. We can run off together. And the husband is like, And then he shuts the trunk, and that is the end of that Tubi movie. It was actually really good. It was some plot twists, I have to say, some decent plot twists. Not all the acting was thorough. Some of the acting was lackluster. But for a Tubi movie, they had some okay actors in there. The main characters, I have to say, the three main characters were actually pretty good as far as actors go for Tubi. They actually was doing their thing. Some of the side characters, not so much, but it was actually a pretty decent movie. And I would recommend it. Once again, the movie's called Don't Look Back, and it's a Tubi movie. It's starring Ulysses Barnes, Tanya Brown, and Donald Brumsfield Jr. Donald Brumsfield Jr., for those who don't know, is the gentleman from Black Ink Chicago. Yes, serious eye candy. I'm going to tell you, yes, he is. And I enjoyed the movie overall. Yes, definitely watch it. Tubi's free, so go for it. You just got to deal with the commercials. Sometimes the commercials be overwhelming, but it's worth a watch, I definitely would say. But that is the end of my review for tonight. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much. You guys are the best part of my day. So today, well, one of the best parts of my day, I have to say. But thank you so much again for joining. And I will be doing another review. Yeah, fortunately, there's no babies in this movie. So, when she said that about the baby, that was insane. I don't understand what her point was even saying that to him. That was really wild for her to say that. I think she was trying to hurt him, but girl, no, that was not it. But thank you again for joining. I will be back tomorrow to do another review. What type of review would you prefer? Do you want another Tubi movie? Do you want a book? Or do you want an anime review? Whatever you choose, I'm willing to review. So just let me know, and I will be back tomorrow to do the review, because I do have a bunch of books that I can review, as well as some Tubi reviews I can do also. So anyways, I have some really great book reviews I can do. I'll be back tomorrow around this time tomorrow I'll be back on 9:30 Eastern Standard Time to do a book review. So thank you again. Thank you everyone for joining me tonight. And I had so much fun. And thank you for all your comments. I really enjoyed it. So talk to you tomorrow. Bye.